That's Kat.
That's Ian.
And this is 404.
Script not found.
That's perfect. Like a terrible voice message. I love it.
Wow. Guys, look what I got. Isn't it awesome?
Your joy for this is making my day.
I was so excited to show y'all.
I'm excited for you. When did you get, what is it? Tell us about it.
So my aunt told me, or she gave me my first fidget toy, and I was with her like a little while ago, and I was like, yeah, I have to get a new one because like it's too loud when I have meetings. And so I saw her this weekend. She was like, I got you something. And it was this.
That's so sweet.
I know. I was like, this is awesome. Yeah.
What an aunt.
I know. I was like, this is, she's really, really cool. Yeah.
You make noise when you do that to it.
I know.
How we doing?
We're doing great. It's pretty gross here in Raleigh, but I have a really fun thing that I want to say. Actually, we'll talk about it next time.
Why?
Because I want to talk about Singapore, but I'm scared I'm jinxing it and something bad will happen. But my travel's been approved.
That's so exciting.
Thank you.
Status and a snap of your fingers there.
That's what it's going to put me at platinum.
Because you've already traveled like 3 times this year, I forget.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to San Francisco like in August. That's another one. But I was watching this TikTok today. We're talking about airline status for anyone who's not in mine and Ian's head. Because I realized we didn't make any of that clear. We're also talking about the Singapore Grand Prix that I'm going for work that Ian and I didn't say at all.
To be clear, I don't get to go to that. So,
well, maybe you could. Let's make a case.
I don't think the America's SME and mid-market leader is going to be going to Singapore.
Really interesting. I was making my travel business case for it. Me going to it is only 5.3% of the cost of hiring an agency for on-site support.
I believe that.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe on the side, let's start an agency.
We got a lot of ideas.
I do. I'm feeling fired up right now. And you should feel fired up too because Ian's hiring a new teammate.
This is a great segue out of you today. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. No, I'm firing on all cylinders. I'm so glad we recorded at 4 p.m. and not 11. I wasn't ready quite yet.
Neither was your internet.
Yeah, that's true. So I was getting these emails. They're like, your internet's going to go out. And I didn't believe them. I was like, this is probably fake. No, my internet went out today.
Just the boy who cried wolf.
I was like, it's not going to go out. And they're like, your move out date. And I was like, I'm not moving. They're confused. They weren't confused.
Well, they were confused, but they were not wrong about your internet.
They were very directive about my internet. Okay, back to it. Ian's having a great day because he's hiring a new member. Yeah. And so for that, we're going to talk about hiring best practices or just the hiring process in general, because I have a lot of questions for you.
I love it. I'm going to try to answer them all.
As someone who's never hired or fired before, that's not true. This is a tangent, whenever I worked in the restaurant industry, when I worked for my dad.
Which was a hit LinkedIn post out of you, by the way.
And you know what's crazy? I did that in like 30 seconds at 9 p.m.
I told you.
I know. I was like, I didn't put any thought into this. So when I...
Just so you know, if you commented, she didn't care.
That's not true. I put a little thought because I did reread it one time and I used all the wrong theirs because I was tired.
Perfect.
So I had to go fix the theirs. When I worked for my dad, the summer after my freshman year of college, I was in charge of the front of the house of the restaurant. He had the back of the house. I got to hire and fire every server and bartender as an 18-year-old.
I feel like that's because he just didn't want to deal with it.
Exactly. That is exactly what it was.
I mean, it builds up good skills at a young age, though.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different probably than the process you're about to go through because I would have them start same day, but...
Are you free in 30 minutes?
Literally, they would come in. I'd be like, are you free tonight? Do you want to train? And usually they did. It was awesome.
Yeah, well, self-starter right there.
Well, Ian, what is the number one thing that I'm starting with the resume portion? So whenever the job posting is created, you start working with the recruiter and they're sending you candidates, like what is the number one thing that pops out as like a shining star for someone that you want to talk to?
Yeah, so I feel like I need to put like a big disclaimer that like what I say is not Cisco's policy or these are my own beliefs and thoughts, to be clear. So it's interesting because I think it's like there's this idea of apply. My wife's looking for a job, and she has a job, to be clear. She's just looking maybe out there for a new job. And there's just like, if you don't know anyone, it's really tough to get your foot in the door. And it's funny, like being on the other side because I'm getting inundated with resumes. And the like biggest thing that's I'm trying to like filter on is just transferable skills. So like, have they done something that I think I can teach them either the thing I need them to do or they've already done the thing I need them to do and shown success at that. Because the reality is we're going to end up with, I don't know, 80 to 100 candidates, and I have to get it down to like 5 to 7 for an interview process.
Wait, are you gonna see all of them?
No, so the HR filters level 1. He says,
Gotcha.
"Hey, here's some resumes that look good." And then I filter those down to like, I want to talk to these people.
Okay.
But
Mm.
I can see all of them. There's a portal. I can see them all, but I hope not to.
Follow-up from Alex. Do you actually read cover letters?
So, confession, no is my answer. And I've never made a cover letter, I don't think, since like maybe college.
I think I have one time. I might have for Cisco.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know that it did anything, but I got the job.
Then it works. I wouldn't even know what to do with a cover letter, I don't think. I'd be like, okay, cool, great. That's why you're applying. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It does seem like a little bit of a waste of time. I don't think I would do it, but
Yeah.
again, at this stage in my life, but yeah. If that's something that you're looking for that's important, it's great to know someone. What about if you get a resume? Is there anything that's glaring to you that's
Like
bad?
good or bad?
Bad.
Bad. I think no. Like, someone who has no like, we've had a few of these, which is great, but, like, sellers who have no marketing expertise. Not that they couldn't do the job, but knowing how many actual qualified and highly qualified candidates I'm gonna get, someone who has, like, no marketing expertise because it's not an entry-level position is probably an instant cast off. I also think, like, maybe this is a controversial take, resumes matter, like, and that's, maybe it's not, you're nodding. It's like, oh, like if you know someone, you're gonna get a foot in the door. Sure, I'm gonna be a lot more willing to like read the resume and maybe you get to the first round interview. But like when we're talking about the number and breadth of candidates we have, like what you have on that resume truly does matter. And yes, you're gonna have to get through an ATS, the recruiting software. That is part of this, but like if you just cheat your resume to get through that software, it might not be the best still when it gets into the hands of the recruiter. So you kind of need to think through that twice of like, how do I beat the software, but how do I also make sure this reads for a human to read it? But I think it's like the stuff that I'm like, all right, you're wanting to change jobs. This is an opening that you think you have a shot at. That's probably not it. Fortunately, I haven't seen any of those.
Okay. Well, my next question's off of that. Do we have anything that checks to see if the resume was made with AI? And two, can you tell if you're looking at an AI generated resume? And does it bother you?
It would bother me. For sure would bother
Really?
me. I think so. I just had this conversation with my wife because she was updating her resume for like a job listing and she used Claude. And I was like, are you then rewriting it? And she was like, well, no, I'm using Claude to like match the ATS of this like posting. And I was like, right. But like, just like, I'm not going to say you would definitely know, but I feel like if you went on LinkedIn, you have a feeling if someone's using AI to like write a post or write content.
Yeah.
I think resumes are similar. Like, I think there's some tells where, like, there ends up being a lot of commas because it just lists things. I think all resumes will look relatively the same, but, like, it would bother me, I think, if I knew. I actually don't know if Cisco has any software that filters that out, though. It's a great question. I think, like, you could use it to craft a resume, but I think it's still, like, you gotta go through and just like you would if you created content, like,
Yeah.
make sure it still flows and reads
Make
correct.
it normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, like, if you have a solid base of your resume and then you see a job description where maybe it would take you 30 minutes to tailor yours to match it, but it's gonna take Claude 3, I
Right.
don't know. It feels
No, I'm
efficient.
for that. It's just I think you need to go through with the human lens and take out a lot of maybe the telltale signs.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think too,
I'm a boomer too, so
yeah, well, I wasn't gonna say that, but I wasn't trying to ruin your day. We were having a really intense discussion about this, my cohort for school, because one of our classmates is an HR leader,
okay.
and her company is currently having debate on if they take resumes that are AI generated because she has a VP of marketing who refuses to look at one, but she says it feels a little bit hypocritical because he uses AI for everything else. So,
So I
I was
agree
curious.
with that. It's like we work at a company that very much, I won't say incentivizes, but encourages and promotes our usage of AI. So I do think there's a level of hypocrisy that exists here, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to connect with you as a human, not the fake generated version of you. But yes, if you're using it like constructively, I think there's a time and a place.
Yeah, but isn't that what the interview's for?
Yeah. But like, are you going to be able to speak to what's on your resume still?
Yeah, if I study it. It's a test.
All right.
I'm just kidding, that's not a best practice. Okay, what about going through the process in an interview? What's something that it makes a candidate a shining star for you?
So I think it's like a willingness and a proof of concept to like learn. I think it's someone who is, hey, I have a semblance of transferable skills, but I've also shown throughout my career I'm adaptable, I can get up to speed quick, and I've proven success. I do think using the STAR method in your Q&A, which is someone who goes through interview training recently, that's just the easiest way to like showcase who you are using actual situations, highlighting yourself. Don't be like, hey, we did this. No, the team did, but this is what I did specifically in this process to make a difference matters. And then I think ultimately it's like being able to like show up and ask questions in the interview process that are unique. So we've said this forever ago, I think with Anne, the questions you ask as a candidate in an interview at the end of the interview should be unique to that company enough that you shouldn't be able to take out Cisco and sub in a different company and have that question still apply. So like did they do enough research for the role and the job and if it's external to the company that the questions they're asking are tailored enough to what they're actually wanting to know? Or did they do a little bit of reading on how to interview and they're sitting there asking me what a day in the life looks like?
Have you ever had a really bad interview?
Oh, have I?
What happened?
I had this is at my old company. We interviewed a candidate who like really noble cause to be clear, but I think asked about like what's something you're passionate outside of work, which is I'm always interested in. I think having hobbies is important. I posted on LinkedIn today about like a transferable hobby. I think reading and running and things that are like you're a self-starter and willing to learn and adapt outside of work are important. This person's passion was animal cruelty, which I fully am on board with. Co-sign a million times, like great cause to be against. He went into like a 25-minute diatribe about how Fairlife treats their cows and you should never buy Core Power protein or Fairlife milk. And it was like to the level of like I'm now uncomfortable in this interview.
How long was it?
The interview, like beginning to
The
end, was
interview,
probably
what
like
was it?
45 minutes.
I say, was it 25 out of 30 minutes, or
No,
was it like
my yeah. So like it was like half the interview.
that's
My
crazy?
other, like, thing, and I love this, and hopefully one day we'll maybe get to a level of confidence. My former boss back in the day used to just like, we'd be 10 minutes into a bad interview, and she'd be like, "Okay, I have a meeting. I have to go. Thank you for your time. Like, we'll be in touch." And she would just walk out of the meeting.
Wait, that's not nice.
And I was like, she was like, "I know we're not hiring that person." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, but like, we probably should see it out the 30 minutes here."
No, it's not that long. That's wild.
Yeah, but it was, like, great, then it's like, "Alright, well, now I'm alone for 20 minutes with this very uncomfortable interview."
Oh, wait, you would still be in there and she would just
Yeah,
leave. You should do that to Karina. Just drop the call.
yeah, I do think so that's part of our process at Cisco that I actually think is the best practice, we take it very seriously, I've been on a lot of panels here in my time, is that you have to ask questions consistently to each candidate in the order of and in the framing of. And I've gotten in trouble for this before because
What do you mean?
I like to be a conversationalist. So
Oh.
I would be like, "Oh, that's really cool. Let me follow up off what you said and tell me about a time that, you worked in a team environment, you didn't get along with someone, but you guys had to work together towards a common goal." And what I learned is you can't throw the preface in. You can't tie it because you're adjusting the framing. You're giving them a kind of an olive branch to something that they've already mentioned to help answer the question. So you have to be consistent in how you ask things and what you're asking candidates because it's the only way you kind of get like a consistent grading of your candidates. It's like, hey, we asked them these 8 questions. This is how they showed up against the 8 questions, and you kind of assign a scoring to each of the questions and like their overall interview and the questions they ask you back.
Ian, that's a great tip.
Trying to
When
find a
have
star.
you haven't started interviewing, have you?
No, should be next week.
Perfect. So when we upload this episode, we'll upload the job posting. Everyone, if you could just cold DM Ian your resumes, he'll look at
Please,
all of them.
please don't. Shout out to Chris Betts, the recruiter.
Shout out.
Yeah, I think like a good, I don't know if we're wrapping up yet, but like some other reminders I've had to like, I've reminded myself and I'm sharing with the people who I have on panels. It's a very like human process and that gets lost. And I get why, because it's like you're applying through a software. You get a billion resumes and it feels like a numbers game and you're reading pieces of paper. Like at the end of the day, people who are either looking for a job and getting their hopes up about the possibility of that thing. Maybe they're on the job market due to a layoff and they're anxious over what that process looks like and the interview itself. It's a very human process at the end of the day. And I think that's like something important to remember that it gets very dehumanized very quickly because of the volume and the way it happens. But like these are people with hopes and dreams that you're having to either acknowledge and fulfill or turn down. And there's a right and a wrong way to do that. And ultimately, it's them judging us just as much as we're judging them. And if you're going into an interview, you should be making sure that it's not just a job, unless you absolutely need a job, but it's the right job and the right company and the right opportunity because that matters. And it can be very alluring that the grass is greener and it's this new thing. But like at the end of the day, you're signing up for hopefully a long time there.
Ian, I think that's a fantastic way to wrap.
I don't feel like I added any value in this episode.
Yes, you did. That whole last 5 minutes was value.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, don't take it from me. I haven't interviewed in 6 years, I think 5.5 years. So I don't know.
That was great. Thank you, Ian. See you next time.
Next time.
If you like the episode, please rate, review, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Until next time.
Thank you for listening.